So when I think about the universal challenges across my client base, whether I'm at an ad agency or a law firm or an investment management firm or even in the academic space, one of the consistent challenges that I hear come up over and over again for professionals, whether they're just starting their career or that they're at that mid-level or even for my senior clients, my senior team clients, it's how do we cut through the noise? How do we cut through the noise of everyone's distraction so that our message is heard? How do we make sure that we can get through in our meetings the importance of why we're making this recommendation? The sad thing that I see happen over and over again is we spend 90% on the deliverable and we spend 10% of our preparation on the delivery. And sadly, what's on the deck, what's on the slide is not as significant as how you're going to bring it to life if you do have the chance to be in person. So for cutting through that noise of our cultural ADHD that we all have, I need to say something very interesting within the first 30 seconds. I need to go with my strongest, most important point, even if people have no context for it. Then what happens is I pique their interest. They're like, why? How did you get there? Why would we do that? That's not the right idea. I know now that they're listening. Now I walk them through in a really fluid way to defend my case, and then I'm able to end at the end reaffirming why I'm making that suggestion. When we haven't done this, and I'm sure you've experienced this, when we haven't done it this way, we go through and we get to slide 7 and somebody asks a question and we have to say, as we explained on slide 3, as we told you earlier on in the call, as we had just mentioned, and we're reminding them of content that we already covered, but it's a sign to me as the presenter that they weren't listening because their brain had nowhere to put that information because I didn't tell them what to listen for. I want it to feel like it's the best possible you, like it's the you who's with friends. You should feel so confident in your mastery of the content that you're talking about it in a way that you would describe it to a friend. And I guess the litmus test for this would be, would I be bored? And having to ask yourself that over and over again for any of the topics that you're discussing. Would I be bored in this conversation? And if the answer is yes, then it's on you to either omit content that does not need to be covered or to think about a way to spin it. One of those phrases that I love is, let me break this down for you. Or here's what I see in this. Here's what was interesting to me, right? If you were looking, let's go back to thinking about that slide of the cash flow analysis, right? If an analyst said to you, what I thought was interesting in these numbers, can't you imagine that you would perk up? You'd be like, yeah, tell us, what do you think is interesting in those numbers, right? When you bring your own reaction into the content, that's a way to find that authentic voice.